So good morning, everyone. Thank you, Supervisor Barger. I also have a read-in motion to be placed on the December 6, 2022 agenda. As you all know, November is, or may not know, now you will, November is Transgender Awareness Month. And this month serves as a time for each of us to sharpen our shared understanding of the transgender community and the many inequities transgender people experience daily. It's also a time to uplift the voices, stories, and experiences of our transgender family, friends, and neighbors. In addition to acknowledging the importance of the month, I want to also recognize Transgender Day of Remembrance, which took place November 20th. It's a day to honor the memory of transgender people whose lives were tragically lost as a result of acts of anti-transgender violence and hate. It's particularly important that we not only reflect during this month, but that we continue to uplift the disparities and violence towards the transgender community and really the LGBTQ plus community as a whole in its entirety every single day. We all have witnessed this week yet another act of violence toward the LGBTQ plus community in Colorado. I believe it's important that LA County affirms our commitment to provide equitable services to transgender, nonconforming, and intersex communities and the LGBTQ community as a whole. That being said, the directives of the motion read as follows. I therefore move that the Board of Supervisors direct the CEO in collaboration with the Executive Director of the Anti-Racism, Diversity, and Inclusion Initiative, the Executive Director of the Human Relations Commission, the Women's and Girls Initiative, the LA Homeless Services Authority, Departments of Children and Family Services, Aging and Disabilities, Public Social Services, Health Services, Public Health, Mental Health, and Economic Opportunity, and other relevant county initiatives and departments, and the community stakeholders representative of the county's diverse LGBTQ plus communities, particularly organizations led by transgender, gender nonconforming, and intersex individuals, to report back in writing in 180 days on recommendations on data gathering, standard metrics, reporting, policy, and program changes that enable the county to better serve TGI communities. The assessment should identify the reach and outcomes of existing services and programs today. B, improving data collection on the equitable distribution of ARPA funds and services to underserved, geographically isolated, and excluded TGI serving groups, and in consultation with LGBTQ plus and TGI serving community-based organizations, exploring methods to more effectively gather information on how funds and services are reaching and impacting related groups. Improving data collection on the equitable distribution of ARPA funds and services. Did I just read that? I did. C, improving as needed the county's COVID-19 Vulnerability and Recovery Index Dashboard and Equity Explorer mapping tool to incorporate data on LGBTQ plus and TGI communities. And D, an initial assessment on the critical gaps in services and recommendations on priority strategies for improving and expanding programs and services for TGI individuals across all relevant departments. E, initial recommendations on how the county can develop a permanent, integrated TGI population strategy, including structural ways to better coordinate county services for TGI individuals. The strategy should include an evaluation of the staffing and funding required to implement the recommended strategy, an assessment of how TGI services intersect with other high-need communities, such as low-income communities, communities of color, the aging population, the disabled community, and others. And F, an analysis of potential funding streams to increase county resources for TGI individuals, including opportunities for state and federal funding. That is the read-in of the motion. And we will hear the motion at our upcoming December 6th meeting, but it's a report back. So should we can vote on it today? That's right, because it's a report back. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll entertain a motion.
Second. So move, or
So-
second.
So moved by Kuehl.
Second, so moved.
Seconded by Barger. Thank you very much. Please call the roll.
Supervisor Solis.
Aye.
Supervisor Solis, aye. Supervisor Kuehl.
Aye.
Supervisor Kuehl, aye. Supervisor Hahn.
Aye.
Supervisor Hahn, aye. Supervisor Barger.
Aye.
Supervisor Barger, aye. Supervisor Mitchell.
Aye.
Supervisor Mitchell, aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Executive Officer, will you please play the Code of Conduct?
Ladies and gentlemen,